Keep the bus with Good evening. I now call to order the public hearing of the Dunkirk Common Council scheduled for 5:30 p.m. today, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. The purpose of this hearing is to consider the discontinuance or abandonment of the portion of Deer Street north of 4th Street to the Save-A-Lot Plaza. This hearing is required to ensure transparency and to give the public the opportunity to comment before any formal action is taken by council. I now open the floor for public comment. Please limit your remarks to the topic of this hearing and approach the podium stating your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing no commentary, I hereby close the public hearing on the proposed discontinuance or abandonment of the section of Deer Street under consideration. Thank you. Clerk Dobeck, please record that the public hearing has been completed. And with that now concluded, we will begin tonight's regular meeting. I now call to order this Common Council meeting of the City of Dunkirk on this 20th day of May 2025 at 5:31 p.m. Clerk, please conduct the roll call.
Councilmember Leskowiak.
Here.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Here. Thank you, Clerk. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you again.
I'm at a loss right now.
Next, we have the certification of prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, May 6th was presented to the mayor on Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and seal of the City of Dunkirk, New York, this 20th day of May, 2025.
Is there a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented? Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Leskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Leskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye. Councilmember Nichols.
Aye. Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, the minutes are approved as presented. We now move to privilege of the floor.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing from themselves, in which case each individual appearing shall be limited to 3 minutes, and any person representing any group who shall be limited to a maximum time of 5 minutes. The privilege of the floor is reserved for members of the public to speak on any subject pertinent to affairs of the city government. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits. The chair may determine in their discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. The chair shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste or slanderous or not germane. The time limit specified shall be adhered to, except the chair may allow any person speaking to complete a statement or a thought started before such time expires, and a longer time may be allowed by the chair with approval of the majority of the council.
Prior to opening privilege of the floor, I'd just kindly remind everyone that this is not the forum for a back and forth with the council. Rather, it's an opportunity for members of the public to share their thoughts on the record. So with that said, privilege of the floor is now open. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak, please step forward. Again, state your name and address and address the council.
Good evening. My name is Jim Enser, 121 Sisson Street, and I'm here to report briefly on a Revitalized Dunkirk event. Earlier today, from noon until 4, in collaboration with National Fuel and many others, we held our third annual garden cleanup, also called Days of Doing, and I'd just like to give a brief update. I would like to thank, this is a true partnership really, 3 years now between National Fuel, Revitalize, and of course City DPW that helps collect all the bags, the mountain of bags of trash that was collected today. We had 13 National Fuel employees, 8 representatives from the Resource Center, 11 revitalized Dunkirk folks, and 2 folks who are living in a boat in our harbor right now. They helped out during the day. I'd like to take a moment to especially recognize Chris Penkoski and Nicole Waite, the 2 organizers for this event. And I would just like to say, these were the 7 sites that we cleaned up today. The Dunkirk City Pier, including the Approach Road Gardens, Bicentennial Park across from the high school on West 6th Street, the Dunkirk Lighthouse Grounds on Point Drive North, the Janice Slayton Memorial Garden at Main Street and 6th, Dunkirk Historical Society and Museum on Washington Avenue, the Dunkirk Public Library on Central Avenue, and the Refresco Training Building at 312 Main Street, formerly known locally as the old M&T Bank, which will become the new home of the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Enser, and to everyone involved for all you do for our community. Anyone else who wishes to speak?
Melissa Zastro, 153 Point Drive North. I'm here to express concern over comments made at the last City Council meeting. Our county is facing a housing crisis. Local and national policies and practices are intensifying this problem. The 84% property tax increase implemented by the city raises rent and makes home ownership a financial impossibility for many. This city's practice of allowing short-term rentals in all residential zones reduces the inventory of available housing. Nationally, mortgage rates have soared to 7%, making home ownership unattainable to many. 25% of Dunkirk residents live in poverty. Current economic policies may make this rate soar. Tariffs will increase the cost of many essential items. Tomorrow morning at 1 a.m., Congress is voting on a bill that will cut many services our community relies on, including Medicaid and SNAP. Dunkirk is struggling economically, and this struggle will most likely worsen. As our neighbors struggle, it is not the time to suggest disposing of others' worldly possessions. It is not the time to compare others to wild animals. It is not the time to suggest locals ignore the plight of those less fortunate. Now is the time for our community to rally and support each other. Now is the time for compassion and kindness. Dunkirk is a caring community and should be represented as such by our elected officials. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Astro.
Hello, Jedi Hill, 30 Central Avenue. We're on the sailboat right there by the Argo at the end of the pier. We're coming sailing with New Atlantis Developments, and we're looking to potentially make this community our home. We're looking for farmland in the area and also some factories for my HIP system so we can build housing that's affordable instead of affordable housing, floating docks and floating structures. So I just want to try and see, other than jobs, what does the city really need, and hope to connect with some of the people.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Anyone else who wishes to speak? Going once?
Hello, Patricia Shansland, I'm 4th Ward. I really think in my heart you tried to do well, it came out wrong. I know you've received a lot of backlash from the last meeting. I hope it's done some reflecting, but what makes me more sad and upset is how 2 other council members just blindly hopped on a bandwagon like they were sitting behind closed doors having a beer with a friend. That is not what this city is. I truly believe in your heart you meant well. It didn't come out that way. I'm sorry you lost your other board position. From it, maybe this will bring awareness for greater things and Dunkirk can rise above. But the other 2 council, not you, Abby, I'm sorry you weren't here. Now I'm glad you weren't. You're my representative. You do not represent me. You don't represent a lot of us. And I think right about now, Natalie, you're about the only one the public might hold some faith in over this. And with that, I hope the rest of the council has time to reflect, because I'm not even sure this is something that should have originally come up at a council meeting. That is something I really feel you all could have been talking with all these department heads and the agencies without bringing it on a public forum that's broadcast on national venues. People in other countries can see this council meeting. I want you all to really just reflect, are you all really proud of that? And it's more than I'm sorry's. It's what are we going to do moving forward? Because for every one Derek, there's 10 more we don't see. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Going once? Twice? Privilege of the floor is now closed. Next, we move to communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Seeing that she's not present at today's meeting, we will go ahead and move to communications from the public and petitions.
Table request, loudspeaker permit request from the Vibe on 5 to have bands at 19 Lakeshore Drive East from May 2025 to October 2025.
Is there a motion to take this communication from the table?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Luskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried. Is there any discussion on these on this communication, Council? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve? Moved by Councilmember Luskowiak,
So moved.
seconded by Councilmember Nichols. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Request from Crick to use Washington Park on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a special community celebration.
Any discussion, Council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Luskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Request from the Dunkirk City School District to have 2 Dunkirk police officers present at their homecoming dance on Saturday, June 14th, 2025, from 6:45 p.m. to 10:15 p.m.
Any discussion, Council?
I think it needs to be changed to prom instead of homecoming. Homecoming is in the fall.
The letter says homecoming.
Is the date correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are we all set? Chief Lasky? Yeah. Any further discussion, Council? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Luskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Request from Erica Rapel on behalf of Special Olympics New York requesting permission to use 6th Street to Central Avenue for their Flame of Hope run on Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Any discussion, Council?
Is it cleared with the? Yes.
Yeah, we do this every year, yeah.
Anything further? Okay, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? Moved by Councilmember Zatorsky, seconded by Councilmember Luskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Request from Brandon Micah on behalf of P-Dubs to have a Central Alley kickoff party on Saturday, June 21st, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Any discussion, Council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Zatorsky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Request from Michael Curtin for permission to use Kosciuszko Field on Saturday, July 26, 2025, for their annual Monty Memorial Wiffle Ball Tournament.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Zatorsky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Formal ethics complaint from Ryan Reading of 100 Lincoln Avenue.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to refer this to the Law Department?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Zatorsky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Notice of claim from Matthew Scubas of 753 Grant Avenue for damages caused to his vehicle allegedly due to St. George hitting a water line not disclosed by the city of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Okay, do I have a motion to refer to the Law Department and Department of Public Works?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Lyskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Notice of claim from Robert Burlett of 9 Lafayette Avenue for flooding in his backyard allegedly due to culvert under Central Avenue.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the Law Department and Department of Public Works?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Zatorsky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Loudspeaker permit request from Dimitri's to use speakers for music and live bands from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. from May 25th through September 5th, 2025.
Any discussion, council? Okay, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Zatorsky, seconded by Councilmember Nichols. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried.
Loudspeaker permit request from Jay's Pizza Wings and Things to use speakers for a live band on Saturday, June 21st, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve? Moved by Councilmember Lyskowiak, seconded by Councilmember Zatorsky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried. We'll now move to reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilmember Lyskowiak.
Yeah, I want to offer a sincere apology for my recent remarks last council meeting regarding the homeless individual on Central Avenue. My comments did not reflect the compassion, empathy, or understanding that this situation deserves. I deeply regret the tone I used and the message it conveyed. Homelessness is not a simple issue, and no one chooses it lightly. It is often the result of personal hardship, mental health challenges, economic instability, or a lack of access to housing and support systems. My words failed to acknowledge this reality, and for that, I'm truly sorry. Moving forward, I am committed to focusing on solutions rooted in dignity and support. Nothing solidified, but I have been talking with a minister a lot of people know in this area, and her and her husband have done incredible things. So focusing, this means working with city departments, service providers, and community members to ensure this individual and others in similar situations are connected with real help, access to shelter, health care, job assistance, and other services that lead to long-term stability and well-being. I want to thank the residents who have shown compassion and concern. Your kindness reflects the best of our community. Compassion must be part of how we respond. I recognize that I have a responsibility to lead with empathy and respect, and I will strive to do better in the days ahead. And that's all for now.
Thank you. Councilmember Zatorsky?
I just wanted to thank Mr. Enzer and his crew for everything that you guys do for our city. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it's a lot of hard work, so we do appreciate it. And I wanted to give a shout out to the parks guys. I got all those banners up. They look great. Your turn.
Thank you. Councilmember Nichols.
Yes, Jim, I went by the pier before I came here. It's beautiful.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Beautiful, beautiful. Got a great group, and our Whispering Giant will be improved a little bit too over the weekend, once the rain stops after tomorrow. On that note, brush collection is in the 3rd Ward this week. We're making one pass through each street. Next week is 4th Ward. Hopefully next year we can reverse it so 4th Ward comes first and then 1st Ward is last, because we always seem to be on the short stick of everything. But if we could get that arranged through DPW, that would be wonderful. And I was hoping the mayor would be here so she could possibly let us know if she's found a way to have local residents and have a place for us to get rid of our grass and weed clippings and yard waste instead of driving to Ellery. Not everyone is capable of doing that, but unfortunately she's not here. This, on June 7th, we are fortunate to have a Lakeshore Humane Society put on the free rabies clinic at Lakeshore Humane Society on 431 East Chestnut. It's going to be a pre-registered event, and we're lucky to have it now in Dunkirk. It's been every place else but here. But if you're interested, it is pre-registered, and to call 716-785-5183 or the Chautauqua County Health Department. Alan, can you give us a heads up on what's happening with the tear down for the motel?
Nothing since our last meeting.
Nothing? And the cleanup on Columbus and Upper Nevin Street?
Columbus, I've actually got a contract signed today, so that'll be proceeding, and Nevins should be not far behind.
Randy, do you have any start update for any repaving of the streets on the lists we've given you?
Sure. Andy and I will meet tomorrow. We have good lists from every ward. You give me a list, Natalie's give me a list, Abby's give me a list. We're primarily in the 2nd Ward. It's a major project around the intermediate school. She's identified a traffic problem there, and we're going to study that and try to fix that now with a plan and do the work during the summer before school opens again in the fall. So I'm looking forward to all of the things on your list, Natalie's list. Judge has given me a list, Nick has given me a list, so we're going to work through all that. But I really want to work on that intermediate school. Thanks.
Okay, just a heads up, it was a great teamwork on getting that sinkhole on 2nd and Central Avenue fixed. It was a short amount of time, and it's just, we're blessed that you thought of it at the time to get the valves put in at the intersections of Lakeshore Drive and all the artery streets coming into it, because that saved a lot of water, manpower, and time. Great job. I just want to extend an invitation to anyone and everyone to join us at the Lighthouse on Monday at 8:30 for their memorial services for the armed forces there. And I just want to say one thing about our gentleman. We've been dealing with this internally in the city for over 2 years. I did not make a proclamation at all, but I just reached out for social services to extend some help for him. My concern and my comment at the last meeting was of the food that he's getting. We cannot judge of what someone else can eat and what they can't eat, and if he should have had a medical reaction to any of the food that was left for him, or any of the critters of the night that should pay him a visit and not be of good health, we don't need him bitten. It's just, my concern was a health and safety issue. This is not his first place of sleeping. He was sleeping on the boardwalk all last year in front of the vendors' shops. It's just very sad, and I'm very shocked and disappointed that the mayor had not stepped up prior to this. She knew the problems we were having. She knew them 2 years ago. I am sorry if people portrayed what I said wrong, but it's just not to feed him. We don't know if he can eat it or not. I know when children in school cannot have peanut butter in the classroom because there might be a child that will be highly allergic to the smell, or even the smell of peanut butter in there. They have to leave it in the hallway. So we don't know, we can't judge. We cannot ask any, as individuals, we cannot ask any pertinent or personal information on someone because of HIPAA laws. So I was not being vindictive, and I'm sorry if you don't think I'm doing enough for your fourth ward. I am, you can ask, I'm chair DPW. I do a lot of stuff for the ward, for every ward in the city, because the whole city elects the council members. So with that, I'm done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of late, Fiscal Affairs Officer Luskowiak and I have begun meeting with representatives from various departments to ensure that actual spending remains on pace with what was budgeted. If a department is projected to exceed spending in one area, we're asking that they identify offsetting reductions elsewhere within their budget. Simply put, total departmental expenditures must remain within the limits set by this year's adopted budget. In addition, I've also asked Officer Luskowiak to begin auditing select areas of the budget to ensure that expenditures are being charged to the appropriate lines. This is essential not only for transparency, but also for maintaining accurate records as we begin looking ahead to next year's budget planning cycle. Lastly, our Finance Committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 27th at 9 a.m. in the Mayor's Conference Room. We will continue to monitor budget adherence closely and provide updates as needed. Moving on to unfinished business, I'd like to note that the public hearing for the proposed discontinuance or abandonment of Deer Street north of 4th Street to the Save-A-Lot Plaza was held earlier this evening at 5:30 p.m. in accordance with state and local procedure. Since tonight's agenda incorrectly includes the scheduling resolution, which has already been acted upon, I'd ask for a motion to strike Resolution 2925 from the agenda under unfinished business.
So
moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Luskowiak. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, motion carried. We will now address the pre-filed resolutions. Clerk, please introduce resolution number 30-2025.
Resolution 30-2025, enforcement of the city code, local law in accordance with the duties and powers of the treasurer, Chapter 56, Sections 2080-2 and 3031C7.
Is there any discussion, council? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll for the vote on resolution number 30-2025.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, the resolution is adopted.
Resolution 31-2025, resolution authorizing budget line modifications for first quarter fiscal year 2025.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, the resolution is adopted.
Resolution 32-2025, resolution authorizing budget line modifications for fiscal year 2024.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, the resolution is adopted. Is there any new business to be discussed this evening? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Luskoviac. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Zatorsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Weiser.
Aye, meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.